Krishna हरिनाम संकीर्तन की श्रीमद् भागवतम की समवेत गौर भक्तवृंद की श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। 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 नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयामुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2, Text 20. एवं प्रसन्न मनसो भगवद्भक्ति योगतः भगवत्तत्त्व विज्ञानम् मुक्त संगस्य जायते. एवं प्रसन्न मनसो भगवद्भक्ति योगतः भगवत्तत्त्व विज्ञानम् मुक्त संगस्य जायते. Anyone would like to say?
एवं प्रसन्न मनसो भगवत भक्ति योगता भगवत तत्व विज्ञानम मुक्ता संगस्य जायते. एवं प्रसन्न मानसो भगवत भक्ति योगतः भागवत तत्व विज्ञानम मुक्त संगस्य जायते.
Okay, we'll do a translation. Translation of Prabhupada by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Evam, thus, prasanna, enlivened, manasaha, of the mind, bhagavata bhakti, the devotional service of the Lord, yogataha, by contact of Bhagavat, regarding the personality of Godhead, tattva, knowledge, vijnanam, scientific, mukta, liberated, sangasya, of the association, jayate, becomes effective. Translation: thus established in the mode of unalloyed goodness, the man whose mind has been enlivened by contact with the devotional service to the Lord gains positive scientific knowledge of the personality of Godhead in the stage of liberation from all material association. Purport: in the Bhagavad Gita 7.3, it is said that out of many thousands of ordinary men, one fortunate man endeavors for perfection in life. Mostly men are connected with the modes of passion and ignorance, and thus they are all engaged always in lust, desire, hankerings, ignorance, and sleep. Out of many such man-like animals, there is actually a man who knows the responsibility of human life and thus tries to make life perfect by following the prescribed duties. And out of many thousands of such persons who have thus attained success in human life, one may know scientifically about the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. In the same Bhagavad Gita 18.55, it is also said that scientific knowledge of Sri Krishna is understood only by the process of devotional service, Bhakti Yoga. The very same thing is confirmed here in the above words. No ordinary man or even one who has attained success in human life can know scientifically or perfectly the personality of God. Perfection of human life is attained when one can understand that is not the product of matter but is in fact spirit. And as soon as one understands that he has nothing to do with matter, he at once ceases his material hankerings and becomes enlivened as a spiritual being. This attainment of success is possible when one is above the modes of passion and ignorance, or in other words, when one is actually a Brahmana by qualification. A Brahmana is a symbol of Sattva Guna, the mode of goodness, and others who are not in the mode of goodness are either Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, Sudras, or less than the Sudras. The Brahmanical stage is the highest stage of human life because of its good qualities. So one cannot be a devotee unless one at least qualifies as a Brahmana. The devotee is already a Brahmana by action, but that is not the end of it. As referred to above, such a Brahmana has to become a Vaishnava, in fact, to be actually in the transcendental stage. A pure Vaishnava is a liberated soul and is transcendental even to the position of a Brahmana. In the material stage, even a Brahmana is also a conditioned soul. Because although in the Brahmanical stage the conception of Brahman or transcendence is realized, scientific knowledge of the Supreme Lord is lacking. One has to surpass the Brahmanical stage and reach the Vasudeva stage to understand the personality of Godhead, Krishna. The science of the personality of Godhead is the subject matter for study by the postgraduate students in the spiritual life. Foolish men or men with a poor fund of knowledge do not understand the Supreme Lord and they interpret Krishna according to their respective whims. The fact is, however, that one cannot understand the science of the personality of Godhead unless one is freed from the contamination of the material mood, even up to the stage of a Brahmana. When a qualified Brahmana actually becomes a Vaishnava, in the enlivened state of liberation, he can know what is actually the personality of Godhead. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णकृष्णाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाशकलेशकारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna, welcome you all for the Sunday morning Bhagavatam session. Of course, today we don't have Sunday feast here. Of course, you have a feast every day. So, yeah, it's very nice to be among all of you again, once again. Because it's always said, right, the young people are the future generation and future hope. So, and when the young people show interest in learning our scriptures, then definitely there is a hope that our nation can run in a proper direction. Because no one actually feels that to lead a life one requires a training. Anyone feels like that? No, no one feels like that. So, but today Prabhupada in this sloka is mentioning about the scientific way of understanding Supreme Personality of Godhead, about the mind. So many things Prabhupada is speaking about. So actually no one feels that there is a necessity of training in the human form of life. Everyone thinks I can lead. There is nothing like I need a training. You know? Sachidananda Gidari, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. So, we all require a training, and who can train us? The scriptures. And today is a very, very special day. Today is also the Rath Yatra day, and yesterday we heard from His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrita that actually simply sitting and hearing from exalted devotees, the pure devotees of the Lord, itself is a blessing. We don't need a separate blessing. You know? This itself is a blessing. That's why Madhvacharya used to say it's called Mukha Prasada. We all, and after this program, we have a prasadam. But what is the real prasadam for devotees? Not this prasadam. That is anyhow is there. What happens? Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur used to say, this human form, this machine is such a worst machine, even it converts prasadam into stool. That's how bad this machine is. But we have another prasadam. What is the prasadam? Mukha prasada. The words emanating from the lotus mouth of a few devotees of the Lord is actually prasadam for the ears. So that's what we should be interested in, Mukha prasada. So we have heard how Maharaj has glorified Rath Yatra. So actually it is very esoteric meaning. But you see, right, like until I came in touch with this movement, I heard about Rath Yatra. Means I never went to attend Rath Yatra festival anywhere. But being from a village background, in every year we used to have a celebration like yearly Brahmotsav celebrations in every village, because in every village there is a Lord Krishna. Mostly will be there. In our village we have Venugopal Swami. So used to be celebrations. All the entire village people used to come and then participate in that celebration. The Lord Venugopal used to come outside. Even now that the tradition is there, but the people have forgotten what is the meaning of it. Similarly the Lord. But this Rath Yatra has a very, very special significance that we heard. But you see, Rath Yatra means the Lord feeling separation from his devotees and he wants to meet the devotees. This is something interesting because until now, devotion means okay, I have some miseries in my life, go to temple, ring the bell, offer some coconut or offer some donation. Tata, bye bye. My life is mine, your life is yours. We don't have any connection with the Supreme Lord in our day to day life. But you see, a devotee, how he is eagerly, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Maham Ichhapto Dhananjaya. Krishna, devotees eagerly wants to meet the Lord. Similarly, what it shows, this Rath Yatra, the Lord also eagerly hankering to meet his devotees. This is what the reciprocation of the Lord. Rath Yatra is a reciprocation of the Lord. This shows how Lord constantly eager to meet his devotees. So that's why devotional service is not a one-way process. Devotional service is a two-way process. But in our state, we may not be able to understand how Lord reciprocates. But this one festival, we can understand, yes, Lord wants to meet his devotees and especially the gopis. So, you see, just like we are, Krishna is mandating us to fix our mind on Krishna. That's what Krishna says, Man Mana Bhava Mad Bhakto. And Krishna in 12th chapter says, Maya Vesha Mano Yemam. Nitya Yukta Upasate. Krishna is saying, my devotees always fix their mind upon me. But what Krishna is doing, it's not the one way. What Krishna is doing, he is also fixing his mind on his devotees. Of course, the pure devotees of the Lord, who are the topmost devotees, is remembering them. So that's why it may appear that it is too much. Krishna is mandating or ordering us to fix our mind at his lotus feet. No, but Krishna also is also doing the same thing, is fixing his mind on his devotees. And Rath Yatra is one such occasion. So it's a very, very sweet thing. And yesterday Maharaj has gone deep in explaining the esoteric meaning of Rath Yatra, and in our Chaitanya Charitamrita, those are covered in detail. How Jagannath reciprocated with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu reciprocated with Lord Jagannath. So this shows that we should also, because in this material world, we also want to love someone and want to be loved by someone. But in the process, what happens? We get cheated. Even if we are not get cheated, what happens? The person whom we want to love, he eventually leaves us. So that the hankering of the soul to be loved by everyone. That's why we say, we always want to drag the attraction of everyone on us. Why? Because we want everyone to love us. We want everyone to serve us. Why? That is there in Krishna. So, but if we direct this propensity to love anyone in this material world, what will happen? That eventually gets cheated. So that's why Krishna is telling you, please love me. And Krishna is one such person. What happens? That relation never breaks. Why? Krishna is Paramatma is there even in our heart also. So that's why Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami says one interesting thing. Sri Chaitanya Prabhu, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Daya Karaha Vichara Karite Pabe, Chitta Chamatkar. No, like in Telugu, he also says Chamatkaram. Chamatkaram means, Chamatkar means, in Hindi also, Chamatkar only, wonder. It's astonished wonder. So what Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is telling, anyone, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, Daya Karaha Vichar. What kind of mercy Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has exhibited. If anyone puts, Vichar means gives a thought about it, thinks about it, what will happen? Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Kara Vichara Karite. In the process of analyzing or thinking about it, what will happen? Pabe Chitta Chamatkar. There will be wonder in our consciousness. Why? Because on one hand, we are so degraded in the Kali Yuga. Today Prabhupada is talking about Brahminical qualification. We are so degraded. Bhagavatam says Dvipada Pashu. We are almost living like a two-legged animals. But for such people, giving the highest thing. What is the highest thing? Love of Krishna. What is it? You don't know. We only say every day after offering pranam, we say love of Krishna. But to the lowest degraded people, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has offered the highest thing. And not only offering highest thing is demonstrated through this Rath Yatra festival also. So anyone who gives a thought about it, he'll feel definitely a wonder. We don't feel any wonder what is there. Only when actually we appreciate the gift, then only we can feel wonder. Like for example, a beggar on the street. Suddenly a millionaire came, like maybe Ambani came. Recently we saw Ambani also did some pre-wedding ceremony for underprivileged or some, he wants to do something for underprivileged through his son's wedding. So if a millionaire comes to a person who is a beggar on the street and suddenly gives so much wealth, how does it feel? Wow, no? Suddenly my fortune. So like that, our situation we are also like beggars. We don't have any qualification to receive the love of the Lord. You see, we are such a degraded people. We cannot understand what is meant by love of God. You know, to such people, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wants to give, and Rath Yatra is demonstrating that principle. So interestingly, our all the Vaishnava Sampradayas, especially our Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, stresses so much on that how Lord wants to reciprocate with his devotees. You know, so the love. That's why it's a really amazing thing how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wants to give so degraded living beings. That's why what is the goal of our life? Aradhya Bhagavan Rajeshu Tanaya Tadama Vrindavanam Ramya Kachi Tupasana Vrajavadu Vargenaya Kalpite Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam Prema Bhumarto Mahan Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Matavitam Tatra Daro Navaraha. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling what is the highest goal of life? What is the highest goal of life? Prema Bhumarto Mahan. The goal of life is to love Krishna. The love Krishna. Who is Aradhya Bhagavan? Who is our worshipable Lord? Aradhya Bhagavan. Brajeshu Tanaya. Who is Krishna? Who is the son of Nanda Maharaj. We are very specifically attracted to the Krishna who is the son of Nanda Maharaj. Not even Jagannath in one sense. Who is a Dwarka Krishna. Rajeshu Tanaya Tadhama Vrindavanam. His abode is Vrindavanam. So minute details are given. Where does he stay? Tadhama Vrindavanam. And Ramna Kachit Upasana Vrajavadu. In what way we want to love Krishna or serve Krishna? Love means service. Because there is no meaning of love, there is no service. No, love also service. Ramya Kachit Upasana Vrajavadu. We want to worship Krishna, serve Krishna in a way that gopis worshipped. What is that? Yesterday we learned. How many of you not attended yesterday? Or attended? Because I'm again referring to yesterday, so I'm just thinking some context is there. Ramya Kachit Upasana Vrajavadu. The way the gopis have worshipped, how they have worshipped Krishna? In love in separation. Love in separation. What is this love in separation? Yesterday's class was little high because for a beginner, it will go from here. And Maharaj tone is also like he is the first brahmachari I have seen in my life. His name was Devamrit Prabhu previously, and now is Holiness Bhakti Rasamrit Maharaj. From the beginning, I always saw Maharaj never goes in the tone up, down, up, down. His tone is uniform. If anyone wants to sleep, I think his class is the best to sleep. At least in other session, another speaker session, they do little bit modulation up and down. But Maharaj is constant. Those who have interest in the subject matter can only, what happens, they can focus and relish. Otherwise, if someone is coming for some jokes and other things, so Maharaj session, it's very difficult. And yesterday's session was also very deep because I myself is feeling after so long how Maharaj was so deeply dwelled into the topic of love in separation, Vipralamma Bhava. Generally, means devotees don't speak. And that too speaking about the loving affairs of Radha and Krishna, their mood. But Rath Yatra is all about that. That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to give us. So this is the way gopis are worshipped, and we want to worship Krishna in that. Our goal is not simply loving Krishna, loving separation. What is that? We don't know. We have to experience that. But actually, our Acharya says that in our conditioned state, actually this is the perfect. Why? Because we are really separated from Krishna. Like no Mother Sita, when she was in Ashoka Vatika, she also loved Lord Ram in that separation. So Ramayana actually teaches that also. And we are in the same situation. How many of us feel that we are in touch with Krishna? We are chanting Krishna's name, but still we cannot appreciate that Krishna is with us. So actually, we are separated from Krishna. So for us, this is a perfect thing to feel the separation of the Krishna and love, but that is also the highest state. So, Namyakachit Upasana Vrajavadu Vargena Kalpita Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam. What is the so loving Krishna? So have you seen anyone loves any person having some basis on some books or some notes or something? In this material world, whether mother reads something to love, have you seen any mother doing like that? No, but love is a natural. But what is this? Love based on Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam. I will come back to yesterday I did little research how in the material love also there was some analysis. I will come. So, but still there's analysis of the love in the material world. So, but you see, we were singing Radha Madhav Bhajan, Jai Radha Madhav, we were singing Kirtan. So, Bhakti means what people think, huh? Dolo, Dolo, Vrindavan, no? What is that? Anyone knows? Huh? What is it, bro? Vrindavan mein Dolo. Means just go to Vrindavan, sing bhajan and chant and dance. This is what is assumed as bhakti. But our acharyas have first time told, and today's shloka is also it's a series of shloka which shows how bhakti is a science. And simply it's not chanting and dancing. There's a science behind that, and that is what Bhagavatam is teaching us. So to love Krishna, we need to know the science of Bhagavatam, science behind that love. Otherwise, what will happen? Anything and everything we assume it's a love, and I am loving Krishna. No, in North India, it's a very big thing that anyone, any devotee or any person goes to any temple. What do they carry? They carry the Laddu Gopal. Why do carry? I have love for my Laddu Gopal. So we go in a sentimental. Even though devotion also has a sentiment, but mere sentiment is not devotion. So this love also has to be guided by the scriptures, and Bhagavatam is our main scriptures which talks about this love. Prema Pumartamahan. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Matamitam. This is the opinion of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So wonderful that how our scriptures are talking about the highest thing, and which is not given explicitly by other sampradayas. So this is the main blessing of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, but the topic of loving God is very very high. That's why if you see Prabhupada, this shloka, I can speak about this shloka, but I am not on the level of this shloka. This is also possible because the shlokas which Bhagavatam talks about, Chaitanya Charitamrita talks about, are also very very high level. So especially this shloka, today's shloka is on the platform of the prema bhakti, the love of God. Evam prasanna manas. Of course, this shloka Prabhupada has commented in a different way without touching that this shloka is talking about the love of God. But we know from Vishwanath Chakravarti's commentaries, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary, that this is a series of shlokas which is ending with the love. I was always used to wonder from where Rupa Goswami has brought out this topic of Ado Shraddha, Tato Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, Nishtha, Asakti, Nishtha, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhav and Prem. So you see 9 stages of bhakti. Even bhakti is also divided into stages. It's not that I am chanting, then I am already on the highest level. So from where Rupa Goswami has brought out this topic? From this series of shlokas 1.2.16 to 1.2.21. This is how the shlokas go. So, as I said, I can speak on this shloka, but I am not on this level of the shloka. So each shloka reflects us. It is Shastra is like a mirror. We can show where we can see through the shlokas actually where we are. So, evam prasanna manaso. What is this prasanna? If you actually do devotion, what will happen? Prasanna means, you know, what is prasanna? What Prabhupada is telling, prasanna, relevant. Prasanna is also fully satisfied, fully peaceful. So, in this material world, we are all hankering to be satisfied. We are all hankering for bliss. You know? Bhagavad Gita says again, without satisfaction, how can there be happiness? You know? What is that shloka? Anyone knows? So there's one nice shloka in second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Without peace, how can there be happiness? Kutta, like that was, huh? Ha, asantascha kutta sukham. This is a very nice shloka. Asantascha kutta sukham. So in this material world, everyone is frustrated. Everyone is frustrated. You see why everyone is running after, from the morning onwards till the late night. Everyone why is running? To feel happy, to experience happiness. And without satisfaction, how can there be happiness? And people are not satisfied. Just last week in Sunday, I visited, you know, we have Bhakti Vrikshas sessions congregation. So every week we conduct Bhakti Vriksha session, and as part of that, I visited one Bhakti Vriksha in nearby apartment only. And just few days before that visit, what happened? A neighbor of that flat where our devotee recently moved, what happened? That lady who is 30 years old only, she went to the top floor, the terrace, and then what did she do? She suicided herself. This seems, I was only thinking suicides are somewhere only in the news or this, that, but it is just adjacent to us. 30-year-old girl. Why? I asked what is the reason? Distress, stress. And why stress comes? What is the stress? When mind is not peaceful. You know? What is meant by stress? Mind is bombarded with so many thoughts. Mind is feeling stress. See, we can bear the bodily stress. It's very easy to bear the bodily stress. But it's very, very difficult to bear what? Mental stress. And this is the biggest problem in the current society. Why? Simple reason. Everyone is disconnected from God, Krishna. Everyone is disconnected from God. This is a simple reason. And what this shloka is telling, even though this talking about the highest thing, but simple thing is it assuring, evam prasanna manaso, mind. The mind will be completely peaceful, fully satisfied. What else do we need in our life? But we have a wrong conception in life. How we will get the full peace? How we will get the peace? The wrong conception is, if I earn money a lot, if I arrange fully comforts to my body, full comforts to my body, what will I will get? I will be happy, I will be satisfied. You know? But the wrong conception. What is the wrong conception? By providing facilities, by providing bodily comforts, one can never be satisfied. Rather, actually, in Krishna consciousness, we stress so much on engagement. Rather, we will be happy if we engage our body 24 hours in the service of the Lord. That's why we are running against the stream. We are almost fighting against Maya. Maya says, get the comforts. But we are saying, engage the body in the service of the Lord. So this is important. Engaging our body in the service of the Lord. You see, this shloka is still evam prasanna manaso. Mind will be fully satisfied. How? Bhagavad Bhakti Yogataha. By performing, by rendering what? Bhagavad Bhakti. Simple thing. Now that's why somehow Bhakti tradition was mistaken. No, otherwise, from so many generations after generations, every person, as soon as they wake up, what they used to do? They used to first prioritize devotional service. And that is based on the scriptures. Since we have lost the training based on the scriptures, what happened? This eventually turned into a mere sentiment, and eventually what happened? This is also gone. And that's why now younger generation is feeling stress. I know so many cases where people have gone to the extent of suiciding themselves. And this is not one or two. So many are happening in the current society. So now do you think Bhagavatam is actually doing welfare or not? Actually, Bhagavatam is doing the highest welfare thing. Bhagavad Bhakti Yogata, you perform devotional service, what will happen? Evam prasanna manaso. So, now it is up to us to apply this principle of Bhakti Yoga in our life and feel prasanna, fully satisfied. Because after coming to Krishna consciousness also, being fully satisfied is a challenge. Being fully satisfied is a challenge. Because as long as we have wrong conceptions, we will not be satisfied. You know? But at least we should have assurance that Bhagavatam is giving me this fully satisfaction, full satisfaction. And then Bhagavad Tattva Vijnanam. How do you have to do bhakti? In a very scientific way. And I am really telling, if we are not doing bhakti in a scientific way, then we will be carried away by praises, criticism, because devotional service also we go through lot of challenges. It's not a bed of full roses. So if we are not doing sign bhakti, Bhagavad Bhakti Yogataha, Bhagavad Tattva Vijnanam, not in a scientific way. I will come to what is meant by science. But if we don't do in a scientific way, what will happen? We will not be able to do this devotion till the last minute of our life. You know? Only when we understand what we are doing. What is meant by science? We have to understand. So only when we understand what we are doing, then only we can actually perform with enthusiasm. Otherwise, even though we may perform, enthusiasm, what happens? Will be lost over a period of time. That's why Krishna is talking about Karma Yoga two times. One is Karma Yoga, 3rd chapter, and 5th chapter, action in Krishna consciousness. What is the difference in both? The difference is between 4th chapter, the transcendental knowledge. 3rd one, we can do service without understanding. We can chant without understanding. We can cleanse the utensils of the Lord without understanding. We can cleanse the temple without understanding. We can go for book distribution without understanding. But 4th, transcendental knowledge. Understand what I am doing. Understand Krishna. Understand my relation with Krishna. And then when you do service, adding that knowledge in our service, then that becomes 5th chapter. So that's why Krishna doesn't want us to do in a blind way. That's why here Sukadeva says, Bhagavad Tattva Vijnanam, in a very scientific way we have to do. Understanding. What is when we are understanding? Now where are we in this ladder? 9 stages of Bhakti, where are we? We have to see, am I progressing, am I degrading? That's all. Just like when a person prepares for IIT JEE, because we have gone through that phase, we can tell. So how at the end of the 1 year we are not sure that whether I will really be able to crack the exam or not. Anyone can tell? No one can tell. Even a greatest scholar, he may go flip until and unless the Lord's sanction is there. So, but one thing as an aspirant, what we do to always assess ourselves. That's why we give so many quizzes, so many mock tests. Yeah, mock test. These days, mock test is becoming popular. Why? Before the exam, like no, I prepared for GATE. Before the exam, I give I think 1 or 2 mock tests just to show that how will be my performance. And bhakti also has to be done in same way. Antakalecha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram. At the end of the day, if I remember Krishna and leave my body, I am sure to go back to Krishna's abode. But only I have to assess at the end of my life? No. I have to assess throughout my life. And what is the assessment? And Rupa Goswami is the one such acharya who has actually analyzed the love in phases and we can assess ourselves. No acharya has done like that. So this is something wonderful. Our acharyas have done very wonderful job. And yesterday we learned about Rupa Goswami. Who is Rupa Goswami? Who has understood the mind of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sang one song. No one could understand. Means Swarup Damodar could understand. Maybe Ramananda Rai also. So, but who else understood? Rupa Goswami. That was revealed later. And everyone is shocked. How Rupa Goswami could understand the mind of God? Can I understand the mind of Pankaj Prabhu? He may be sitting here. It appears he's listening to my session. But in dreams, he's thinking, how will I complete my 3.5 lakh data science course? I am wasting my time here. I don't know. But if I cannot understand the mind of an ordinary conditioned soul, an insignificant jiva, what to speak of entering into the mind of a God and understanding Him? It's a great thing, you know? Not a great thing, it's an impossible thing. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mind was understood by whom? Rupa Goswami. That's why what do we say? Sri Chaitanya Mano Abhishtam. Sri Chaitanya Mano Abhishtam. One who has understood the man ki abhisht, the desire of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the thoughts of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the feelings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's why we say Sri Chaitanya Mano Abhishtam Stapitam Ena Bhutale. And who has understood and who came to establish that through his works, you know, through his works. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Ujjwal Neelamani, these are the wonderful books. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Ena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swa Padanti. When will such Rupa Goswami give me shelter? At his lotus feet. Such a deep meaning, you know. Because of this verse, he understood. We understood that he understood the mind of God. Otherwise, to understand the mind of God, what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is experiencing, you know, like we all know when a boy see a girl, what one can experience? One can experience lust, you know. But what God experiences when he sees the God? But what God experiences when he sees his devotees, that no one has revealed. No one has revealed. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has revealed, and Rupa Goswami has captured that in the scripture. So we have to we have to be very grateful to all these acharyas. That's why we are also called as Rupa Anuga. So what I am trying to say, Bhagavad Tattva Vijnana, we have to perform devotional service in a scientific way. What will happen otherwise? When we are going for book distribution, our Nikhil Prabhu goes and is the topmost book distributor here. So now everyone will appreciate Nikhil Prabhu. What an amazing service you have done. No one, na bhuto na bhavishyat. And because he's only in AECS level, he thinks, yes, na bhuto na bhavishyat. I am the great book distributor. Obviously, that kind of we are all in the same boat. We are all conditioned, right? We tend to carried away by that. But we don't know there are a topmost book distributors in USA. What is that? Mahotsav Prabhu. Who distributes how many books? How many Bhagavatams he distributes? 100 Bhagavatams. So he has distributed almost 5,000 books in a day. First the record was he distributed to the Indians, which also includes some foreigners, but the latest record was only 2 foreigners he distributed. So he was a Mahotsaha. He's a greatly enthusiastic. So when we know, then Nikhil Prabhu understand, oh, I am. So, but in our own zones, what will happen if someone appreciates? It's good, we feel that good. From where this is coming? Because Krishna feels happy when someone glorifies him. That's why we want to glorify Krishna, to give pleasure to Krishna, because we are also part and parcel of Krishna. That minute tendency is there in us. But Bhagavad Tattva Vijnana, if you don't do this in a scientific way, what will happen? Then I tend to be carried away. And we don't want to be like a flash. Do devotion only for 1 year, 2 years, or half a decade or a decade. No. We want to perform devotion life after life. That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says. What is it? Mama Janmani Janmanishware. We are not limited to only some years. We want to perform devotion life after life. And at least in this life, till the last breath of our life. For that, what we require? We really require enthusiasm. It's not an easy thing. So that's why Bhagavad Tattva Vijnana, we have to do in a scientific way. When we assess ourselves, what will happen? We understand our own shortcomings, where to go. If we are not assessing, then feel that, oh, I am the greatest devotee. And that we don't want to be carried away. That's why Bhagavad Tattva Vijnana. We have to do it in a very, very scientific way. And when in a scientific way, what will happen? We also feel, yes, this process is working. Otherwise, we feel, even after many years, my lust is not going away. My anger is not going away. My greed is not going away. I am not in Hindi. This word na garka, na garka. I am neither in the material realm. I am neither in the spiritual realm. So that brings morosness. That brings discouragement. You know, that's why we have to follow the process in a very very scientific way. Just to be on the grounded. Of course, even after doing that, we may be carried away. But this helps, at least from our own side, we are putting efforts. And rest is up to Krishna. You know, that's what Damodar pastime shows. We have to put our best efforts in performing this devotional service as a bhakti. Otherwise, what will happen? People think bhakti as a mere sentiment. You know? Mukta sangasya jayate. If you do like that, what will happen? We will be liberated from the association of the three modes of the material nature. So that's how now we have to experience this shloka prasanna manasa. Are we satisfied in performing devotional service? If you are not satisfied, what will happen? Move marna. You understand move marna? We will go and check so many other things. Even after coming into devotional line also. So now we have to experience this shloka. That's why I'm stressing a lot on this performing devotion as a sense. Now coming to the question. Until now I was only telling, and some of your also faces are also sleepy faces. Yes. Subject matter is a highly philosophical also. Okay, now you please tell me, who wants to tell what is science? What is science? Now, so much about we talked about science. Yes, Pankaj. Sure.
You mentioned what is scientific way you
Hmm.
understand like where we are in. And,
That's what I told.
Yeah.
But in general, what is the meaning of the science?
Okay.
All of us from science background? Hmm? Anyone from commerce background? Arts background? And that means I can safely assume all of you are from science background. Now, all of you have to tell. What is the definition of science? Our Prabhu. Huh? Shreyans Prabhu. Huh? Knowledge derived from experience. He is a IIT Kharagpur student. He has done so many experiments in the lab. Hello, bro. Knowledge deriving from experience. So that means no knowledge without any experiment. So this is the. Okay. Any other definition?
Understanding the mechanism behind the things matter.
Understanding the mechanism. You see our farmers. Their occupation is farming. So do they know the science or not? Huh? Do they know? No, Paka? Science of farming. But they don't know what is the ingredients, what is the chemical composition. Science should talk in terms of, like, if you take any food, what science talks about? What is the carbohydrate, protein, and calories? That is meant by science, the modern way of understanding science. In that sense, the farmers doesn't know. You know? So what else? What else is the definition of the science? Theory and practical go hand in hand. Okay, that is true because simply learning theory without practice, no, I cannot apply. And simply without knowing theory, if one goes to the lab and wants to do some experiment, no, you don't know anything what to do. Right? What else is the definition of the same?
Knowledge of nature and personality.
Knowledge of the nature and personality. You see, this is a problem. Science never asks us to inquire. We simply accepted science. We simply accepted science, but we never inquired what is actually a definition of science. This is our problem. Some of you are told, but Prabhupada gave a very simple thing. Science means that should be applicable everywhere. What Prabhupada example gives? 2 plus 2 is 4. 2 plus 2 is 4. Is it applicable in India only? Is it applicable in America only? Or recently we saw one news that what is her name? Chawla. One Chawla from NASA. She went to Kalpana Chawla. Sunita, huh? Sunita Williams. Sunita Williams. Chawla is another one who already died, I think. Yeah. So she went to ISS, the international that space station, and she was so excited. So this 2 plus 2 4 is applicable there in that international space station or not? It is applicable. 2 plus 2 4 is applicable everywhere. So science means that is applicable everywhere. This is one way we can look at it. So that means I will come back again more on that. But bhakti is also applicable everywhere because bhakti is the science of the soul. No? What Bhagavad Gita talks about the science of the soul? Huh? Sarvagataha. The soul exists everywhere. And the soul on the upper planetary system characteristics are different from the soul, the characteristics of the soul on the earthly planetary system. Is it mentioned like that? What do we know about science of the soul from Bhagavad Gita? Many shlokas, so many shlokas are there, right? From Bhagavad Gita. Na jayate na mruyate vakadache nayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuya ajo nityam shashvatoyam purano na hamyate anyamanishe. It's eternal, whether it is in the upper planetary system or the lower planetary system. Ajo nityam shashvatoyam, the same characteristic. Now you see, Bhagavad Gita is talking about science or not? Science of the soul. That's why Prabhupada has coined the word called science of self-realization. So now you understand the modern science. If someone says Bhagavad Gita is a not science, what we should do? We should say, "Arey bhai, this is science," and we should be in a position to explain. I was having this doubt: why it is a science? It really took some time for me to understand. Of course, this is not the only science. Today we also talked about science of bhakti in the 9 stages, little bit. So what else is the science? Theory and practical. What else is the science? That means if you do same experiment in the same condition, the result should be same. So I am from a semiconductors background, electronics background. So we have a diode transistor. This is the basic basis of entire semiconductor industry. P type, N type. Some of you know. So there is a VI characteristics for all the semiconductor chips. We do VI characteristics because that's a very very important curve. Because we also analyze about power consumption, voltage analysis, current analysis. Because you see this mobile, we want this mobile to be charged once, but it should retain its charging for as many days as possible. And the smartphones have hardly 1 day, but earlier phones used to have 1 week like that, the charging. So the research goes, one of the important research goes in the semiconductor industry, how to optimize power. And that very important VA characteristics. So like when you go to a lab, when you do the experiment, in engineering we do this experiment, and every student when he does that experiment he'll get the same characteristics, almost the same characteristics. If that experiment is giving some other result other than the expected the curve, that means it is not science. So anything it is done repeatedly should yield the same result. So similarly, what Bhagavad Gita is telling, if you practice bhakti the way Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam defines or gives the process, what will happen? You should also get the same result, the result which is achieved by the devotees in Bhagavatam. This is the science. That is why we are following this. We are not following simply as some gaining knowledge. No, we are gaining inspiration from these people who has followed the practice, and we also want to follow in the same way and experience the same result. What is the result we want to experience? Prema Pumarto Maha. This is called Prayojan. Sambandha Abhideya Prayojan. If we know the Sambandha and follow the Abhideya, and we should land up in Prayojan. Just like if we do go to the lab, semiconductors lab, do that experiment of VI characteristic, we should land up in the same curve. Understood, right? Similarly, if we understand Sambandha and follow the Abhideya, and we should also land up in the same result. What is the real result? Prayojan. That Prayojan is Prema Pumarto Mahan. So this is another science. Just so you understand, our bhakti has to be done in a scientific way. Bhagavad Tattva Vijnanam. No? Another thing, this is also I did, in 12th we have a chemistry lab. So there's a one chemical they give and asks us to figure out what compound it is, what element it is. And I got one blue color compound. Anyone knows which is the element which has a blue color? Acha, all of you remember. This color. Immediately after seeing, I was so happy. Why? I did not do anything to estimate because we are so greedy after the marks. As soon as I saw copper sulfate, that means it's easy. Now, rest of the thing is a cakewalk. You know, understand cakewalk? Because not only the color, we have to do fire test. No, we have to lit the fire. That fire experiment will be there. The taste means some salts we don't taste, but there are some taste experiments also. So now, how do we identify which is a copper sulfate? By its symptoms. By symptoms, it has a blue color, it has a certain taste, means it has a certain texture, it has a certain smell. Like that, there are chemical properties, there are other properties are there. So similarly, bhakti also has to be identified by the symptoms. Also has to be identified by the symptoms. What are the symptoms? What are the symptoms if we are actually practicing devotional service? What are the symptoms will come? Who would like to answer? What are the symptoms that will manifest? Ah, very nice. You know full shloka? Okay, no problem. No problem. I'm not doing any shloka test. Okay, our Vaibhav Krishna Prabhu told, very nice shloka. Bhakti Pareshanubhava Viraktir Anyatra Chaisa Trikayeka Kala. Then Prapadyamanasya Yatashnasya Tushti Pushti Kshudapayu Anugasam. So very nice shloka. So you see copper sulfate example? The mapping is this shloka. If you are actually doing bhakti, what will happen? These three symptoms will manifest. Just like a hungry person. How many of you are hungry now? Already feeling hungry, 8:45. Hungry person. So now if someone gives a hungry person prasada, what will happen? First of all he starts, the first morsel, then he is satisfied, I got prasada. And as the anugasam, and as he eats more and more morsels, what will happen? He feels satisfied. If someone comes, Prabhu, I have more rasgullas for you, especially for you. What that devotee will tell? Prabhuji, I am satisfied, done. I don't need more. So two things have happened. What is the first is feeling? Satisfied. And then is also feeling, means I don't need anything more. Of course, the third thing he also feels nourishment. So three things. Tushti, Pushti, Shuddhapai. Tushti means satisfaction. Pushti means nourishment. Shuddhapai means that my hunger has gone. These three things. You see how Bhagavatam gives us so examples which we can relate in our life. So whenever we are eating prasadam, we can always remember this shloka, such a wonderful shloka. So now if you are doing bhakti, eating prasadam has a three things, effects. So similarly, if you are actually doing bhakti, three things will happen. What is that first will happen? Bhakti, Pareshanubhava, Virakti. First thing, the third thing which in this shloka it says is Virakti, means detachment from sense gratification, detachment from material world. So if this is happening, you may say 100% it may not happen in one day, but it will happen gradually, krama, in order. So to the extent we perform devotional service, what will happen? To that extent we will experience what? Virakti, detachment from sense gratification. If I am performing devotional service, if I am performing actually devotional service, if I am attending Mangalarti, if I am chanting my rounds properly, if I am attending Bhagavatam sessions, if I am reading Srila Prabhupada books, if I am rendering service, what it should land in? It should land in Virakti, detachment from sense gratification. 100% may not be, but to the extent we are following, some change should be there. So now, how do we analyze our sadhana? Sadhana How many rounds you have chanted? Before 7, before 5, before Mangalarti. In Vrindavan, devotees do before 4:30. Yes, that's a good way. That's a good way. It's not. It's a one way, but it's not the ultimate way. Because ultimate way is through this shloka. We don't see anywhere in Bhagavatam assessment of devotees devotion by sadhana chart. Have you seen anyone? No, it's a subjective way of subjective and objective. Objective way. What is objective way? That means copper sulfate. This. Devotion means this. है ना? Externally we may wear tilak. Externally we may wear dhoti kurta. But this shloka is telling Bhagavad Tattva Vijnanam. Don't be cheated. Don't cheat yourself. That you have become a great devotee. No. Follow. Assess yourself. है ना? Assessment. And the first thing assessment is virakti, the detachment from sense gratification. And this is the symptom that goes even till ruchi and asakti also. Ruchi means, one who is not pierced by, no more piercing by the sense objects. No more piercing. Almost no more piercing. Like that. You see, this is the evaluation we have to do. So that's why sense control is very, very important. We fail to control our senses. But we need to understand our own position to assess our own devotion. Sense control. Virakti directly with the. So, where in the modern world someone has taught this? No one teaches, no one even cares about sense control. That is why in the human form of life, training is required, which no one feels that there is a necessity of training. Virakti. And then what are the other two things? Bhakti, Pareshanubhava. Bhakti, devotional service. And second thing is what? Paresha Anubhava means Paraisha Anubhava means the experience of the Lord. You see, the first and second to experience is little difficult. But the second thing, Paresha Anubhava, in our own way, we can also experience. Like, Krishna also, what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Dadami Buddhiyogantam. Krishna guides through by giving intelligence, appropriate intelligence, how to accept things, how to reject things. So when we are also feeling that guidance and able to appreciate them, that also we can experience. So Pareshanubhava, Bhakti Pareshanubhava. So this is what the signs of devotion. Of course, there are other verses also in Bhagavad Gita. There's one more verse in Bhagavad Gita. So many verses in Bhagavad Gita. One actually perform devotion. Same sukhe dukhe same krutva labha labho jaya jaya. And then vidya vinaya sampanne brahmane gavihastine. There's also one more nice shloka that what is that? Upaiti. I'm just telling. So the shloka is a very nice shloka again. Prashanta manasya henam yoginam sukam uttamam. Upaiti shanta rajasam brahma bhuta akalmasham. Prashanta manasam. If our mind is not getting disturbed, another symptom. There may be external disturbances. Because there will be external disturbance. Now you are traveling in the traffic. There will be external disturbance. But whether mind is disturbed or not, like you are traveling in a traffic, whether you are disturbed internally or not, prashantahi manasam. This is another way to test our devotion. And then what else? Prashanta manasam, sukham uttamam. Are we experiencing happiness in chanting, happiness in rendering service, happiness in attending Mangalarti, or are we still forced? Sukham uttamam. Upaiti Shanta Rajasam, the base modes. Today's shloka is also the previous shloka. Tada Rajastamo Bhava Kama Lobha Dayasche Chetayete Rana Vriddhi Sthitam Sattve Prasidati. So, are we still experiencing the lust, anger, the greed? Or if you are experiencing, to what extent we are experiencing? You see, Bhagavatam is very, very introspective. Upaiti Shanta Rajasam, Brahma Bhuta Akalmasham, and the contamination within the heart. So, like that. So this is how we have to assess Bhagavad Tattva Vijnanam. So Bhagavad Tattva Vijnanam. So you see, Bhagavad Gita talks about devotion and the parameters to assess. Bhagavatam also talks about Bhakti Pareshanubhava. Another shloka Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janeti Asu Vairagya Jnanam Chet Ahaitukam. Always the detachment part comes into picture. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to teach us this one important principle: Vairagya Vidya, Nija Bhakti Yoga, Shikshatameka, Purusha Puranam. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sharira, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Sharira Dhare. है ना? What is that full sloka? Vairagya Vidya, Nija Bhakti Yoga, Shikshatameka, Purusha Puranam. Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Sharira Dhare, Krupamidivya. So like that I am offering my pranams, obeisances to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who came to teach us Vairagya Vidya. So, Vairagya Vidya. So always we should analyze, assess our devotion in terms of this. That's why Srila Prabhupada says detachment from sense gratification and enjoyment or Krishna consciousness and sense enjoyment cannot go together. They cannot go together. So now I was also saying that I analyzed that this means I just saw that how love in the material world is also analyzed. So there's a one scientist, Helen Fisher of Rutgers University. He mentioned that's three stages of love: that lust, attraction, and attachment. So she says that in the initial stage of the lust, what happens? What are the symptoms? Activate one's stress response, increasing blood levels of adrenaline. Adrenaline is a hormone, and cortisol. And when that experiences inside, these are inside effects, right? But externally, what will be the effect? Person sweating, racing heart, and dry mouth. She says. And then little bit further, attraction means adrenaline, dopamine, and serotonin. She analyzed. And then the attachment, the bond that keeps couples together. What is that hormone? Oxytocin and vasopressin. You see, even the emotions that happen within the heart and that has an effect on the body. So similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was experiencing the ecstasy of loving separation from the Lordships, in the heart he used to experience ecstasy, and on the body there used to be some symptom that is called Ashtasattvitika. But of course, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu even exhibited Mahabhav, so wherein the limbs of the body goes inside the body of the Lord, and his joints used to slacken like that. So that is an ecstasy. So if in the material world, if his love is assumed as an emotion or a feeling which is inside, and that is also analyzed, and our scriptures analyze the love of the Lord and captured in the scriptures in a very, very systematic way, and that job is done by Srila Rupa Goswami. That's why Bhagavad Tattva Vijnana in a very, very scientific way. So, but now one important thing we will take from this one, because Prabhupada talked about Brahmana, Brahminical quality. And now, can any one of you tell whether, like, no, we can perform devotion? Any can perform. We don't see someone is a Brahmana or not. Prabhupada is mentioning very clearly that the devotee is already a Brahmana by action. So, but we go and approach anyone and everyone and ask them to perform devotional service, whose habits are also very bad, who also indulge in all kind of illicit things, sinful activities also. Brahmana is not supposed to do, but still we ask them. So now, can a person, can a devotee performs pure devotional service without being a Brahmana or without following Brahminical qualification? Yes or no? Or if yes, why? If no, why? You understood my question? No? You understood, bro? Everyone understood the question? Can we go on performing pure devotional service or devotional service without being practicing good qualities? No, that's Brahmana has a good qualities.
By process,
Hmm.
one will develop Brahminical qualities like attending Mangalarti, doing deity worship, all qualities will come. Again, then he'll become a Vaishnava.
So, Pankaj Guru is telling by practicing devotional service, all the good qualities will come. But we also see devotees means everyone has that question. Your devotees also fight. They have also conflicts. Actually, when we come into the temple, we feel inside means a perfect, 100% perfect. That's the expectation. But over the period of time, what we understand, There are imperfections, within the devotees community also. So many cases are there. Recently, one case was there. A person from ISKCON Chowpatty, what happened for a yatra? What happened? He started collecting money, and later came to understood that actually he took the money and went away. This is one example. Like that, so many are there. So, so now a devotee has practiced devotion. There should be good qualities, right? At least one should, like, know what is that Chanakya Pandit Shloka? For a Pandita means he should accept others' property as a garbage. But still we are not able to. Like, no, we are practicing devotional service. If you see a beautiful young girl, what will happen? Naturally, what comes? Lust arises. In the last time I said, no, we are so conditioned, as soon as we see something, we feel that it is meant for my enjoyment. It's a natural thing. No one can deny that. If any one of you are saying, I'm not feeling attraction, that means you have to go to a psychologist or psychiatric hospital because that is unnatural. It's a natural thing to experience an attraction for an opposite sex. Why? Because that is coming from Krishna. Because Krishna gets attracted to Radharani. Of course, no, that I am not going. That is not a perverted thing. That's a pure thing. But that's in a perverted way, it comes in the material world as a sexual life or an attraction to the opposite sex. है ना? So we are practicing devotional service. We are attending Mangalarti. But now can we say that I am free from lust? That's right. So, so anger also is there. Greed is also there. So it's not that we are trying to figure out faults. So that's why my focus is always on, we have to see, are we going in a proper direction? If we are not focusing on our anarthas, improving our Krishna consciousness, then we will focus on others' faults. That's the problem. Within devotee community, if we are not careful, then we will find faults at others. Definitely everyone will have faults. Is there any perfect person we can say? No. Even a senior devotee will also have faults. And when you come closer to him, you will understand. Means I can say that. That happens. It's not only about our observation, it's about history also speaks. So that's why we have to follow devotion in a Bhagavad Tattva Vijnana, in a scientific way, so that we can focus on our devotional service and we can be compassionate to others, merciful to others. Otherwise, what will happen? In the process, we will criticize others, condemn others, offend others, and then our devotion will go astray. That should not happen. So, what it shows is there is one nice shloka from 5th canto Bhagavatam, Yasyasti Bhakti Bhagavati Akinchana Sarvair Gunai Tasya Samasita Sura Harava Bhaktasya Kuto Mahaguna Manorate Nasati Gavato Bahi. If we perform Akinchana Bhakti, pure devotional service, what will happen? Naturally, all the qualities in the demigods will come. Sama, Dama, Tapa, Saucham, all these will come. But we are not getting. Why? Because we are not able to perform Akinchana Bhakti, pure devotions. That's what. So now the question comes. Now if we are not practicing pure devotional service, so do I have to wait till the time I practice pure devotional service and get all the good qualities? No, we cannot wait. So that's why we have to practice these good qualities in our life. What are the good qualities? We have to practice Amaritvam, Adambitvam, Ahimsa, Shantir, Arjavam, Acharyopasanam, Socham. This is the 13.8 to 12 shloka, right? The process of the knowledge. We have to follow that. Samo, Damas, Tapas, Socham. We have to practice this principle. Like, for example, someone came and insulted us. So at that time, Shanti, we have to practice forgiveness. Yes, he's a devotee. Somehow Krishna inspired him to insult me. So let me forgive him. So we should not think, okay, I'm not a pure devotee, let me react. No, we should practice. Okay, understood. So let me practice forgiveness. And when you are staying in a base, or when you are staying in a grihastha, or when you are serving in a community, someone will get a lot of appreciation. You may feel envious. We may feel envious. That's the nature. One of the problem with us is Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Maschera. We may feel envious. He may not able to exhibit outside, or but we feel that. We feel one of these at any point of time. At any point of time, we either experience lust, we either experience anger, we either experience greed, or one of the other things. So then, what we should do? We should practice coming out of enviousness by appreciating their good qualities. you know Something we have to do, that means we have to practice good qualities. um, on the Krishna's order, one can even tell the lie, but in normal way of life we should practice speaking truth. So all the good qualities we have to practice. That is what brahmana. So no one can become no one cannot be a devotee unless one at least qualifies as a Brahmana. And Brahmana means sense control. And now our senses are uncontrolled. But we have to practice controlling the senses. And the simple principle is Anukulyasya Sankalpa Pratikulyasya Varjanam. And when our senses are encountering something, unfavorable things, we should train ourselves or remind ourselves or try to think inside that I should not indulge in the Pratikulyasya Varjanam. Give up. Anukulya Sasankalpa. If something is favorable, coming to Mangalayat is favorable. And we should, even though it is difficult, we should accept. Like that, we have to practice in our day-to-day life everything. If you are not practicing good qualities, what will happen? Mind will be restless. For example, that's the same thing. Like, now you became little senior devotee and you expect everyone to say Hare Krishna. But someone doesn't say Hare Krishna, what will happen? You feel little bit, what will happen inside? Inside will happen some kind of discomfort. I am not saying, because a devotee goes through the journey of coming out of anarthas. Like everyone appreciated Nikhil Prabhu, but on one certain day someone scolded him. What will happen? He will feel morose. But why will he feel morose? Because we are still on the passion and ignorance. So when someone appreciates, we feel I have done great job. I am the doer. But when someone insulted me, we feel, Array, I am such a great, nice devotee, why is. No. So that's why the test is internal test. Internal test. Am I able to bear both appreciation and the insult in a equanimity, in a equipoised way, and still going on with devotional service? Both happiness and distress, insult and honor, in all kind of dual situations, am I going on perform with my devotional service? So that's how evam prasanna manaso bhagavad bhakti yogatah bhagavad tattva vijnana mukta sangasya jati. If you perform devotional service nicely, what will happen? It will liberate us from the mukta sangha, from the association of the three modes of the material nature, and prasanna manasa, it will bestow us with prasanna manasa, full satisfaction. And we need not to go anywhere, anything. Whether money is there, money is not there. Whether someone is with us, someone is not with us. Doesn't matter. We can go on living a very, very satisfied and happy life. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That's why devotion is a great boon. Anarpita charim chira, karuna yavatirna kala, samarpitam unnatojjvala rasam sabhakti shriyam. This is the great blessing of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who has not, no one else has given. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any questions or comments?
Thank you, Prabhuji, for a nice wonderful class. Prabhuji, you gave the definition of virakti.
Yes,
It
Prabhuji.
means detachment from sense gratification. I heard,
Radheshyam Prabhuji explains about Vairagya and Virakti. So, what is the definition of Vairagya?
Both are synonyms of that.
He mentions that we should get Vairagya and not Virakti. He says,
Because Prabhupada in that shloka 11.2.4, 11 Virakti means detachment. He uses the word. You see, in Sanskrit, one of the interesting thing in the Sanskrit is the same word. In the context, we have to take the meaning. The Brahman. What is Brahman? Brahman is soul. Brahman also super soul. Brahman also means Prakriti. Brahman also means this body. Aham Brahmasmi. And this body. And the soul. and the soul belongs to super soul. The same word in Sanskrit speaks in different things. And Prabhupada, that's why Prabhupada's translations of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, the word to word translation, sometimes it is not a literary meaning. Sometimes it's a meaning given based on the intent. Prabhupada is given here detachment. So Virakti means detachment from what? Can we detach anything from this material world? Can I detach from this mind? First of all, what this mind doesn't belong to you. What is the point of detachment? We don't, nothing belongs to us in this material world for us to detach. You know? Is there anything to be detached? Those who say detach, in that sense. Is there anything to detach? Nothing to be detached. But we have to detach from enjoy propensity. You know? Because of the enjoy propensity, we are in this material world. What we have to detach from? Detach from enjoying propensity. That is Virakti Prabhupada mentioned. So Virakti Vairagya, Prabhupada used the word. But the same word can be used in different way in a different shloka. So we have to, in this shloka, Prabhupada has used Virakti means detachment. Detachment from sense gratification. That is the symptom of progress in bhakti. No? Symptom of progress in bhakti, initial thing we can see is detachment from sense gratification. And that is how we always have to check ourselves.
Prabhuji, next thing in the beginning spoke about Maharaj's lecture. You mentioned about Vipralamba, the separation between Lord and devotee. Beautiful. So there's a nice Vaishnava bhajan, Jayani Lo Prema Dhanam, where Narottam Das Thakur he mentions about Pasane Udigo Mata, this Anale Pasigo. So this is also separation from Lord Chaitanya, or we should only feel separation from Krishna, like the form of Krishna or Chaitanya, it's a different.
Actually, you're asking whether separation is only from the Lord or
because
from...
the Vaishnava left, that's why most of the times, like recently, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj, he left. So most this devotees they recited this song.
So, yes, bro. In the Ramananda Rai and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's conversation in Kobur, Rajamandri in Andhra Pradesh, the one of the question Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Dukkha Madhya Kona Dukkha Gurutara, means what is the most distressing thing for a devotee? What is the most distressing thing for a materialist? When he's not getting sense enjoyment. You know? That is what. But what is the most distressing thing for a devotee? This is what. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Ramananda Rai, not only separation from the Lord, when we are attached to the Lord, we also feel separation from those devotees who have given us the Lord. And that's a natural thing, right? Like we see it's a natural thing that happens. If a Bhakti Ruksha leader preaches to Bhakti Ruksha members, Bhakti Ruksha members naturally gets attached to the Bhakti Ruksha leader. And here, Brahmachari leader trains other devotees. Naturally, they get attracted to the devotee, and that's how it happens in entire ISKCON. And it's a good thing also, and the bad thing also. Because yes, bad thing also is there, good thing is also there. But the separation from the devotee who has given us the Krishna consciousness is a very good thing. That's what this is. That's the greatest distress we should feel. And feeling the separation from the spiritual master is a very good thing. And in our ISKCON society, that's what a spiritual master doesn't stay with us physically. We have to feel separation from the even in ordinary way also.
So that this is also Vipralamba.
Actually, you're saying it's a Vipralamba. Acha.
I'm asking.
So, yes, it's a Vipralamba. Sanskrit word Vipralamba means separation, feeling separation from.
So this separation is different from that separation, like loving
So,
Krishna.
see, the Lord feels separation from his devotees, and that is the reason we also feel separation from his devotees. But technically, the love of Krishna means what the gopis, Radharani, experience separation from Krishna, and why we want to understand Vipralamba, why we want to understand, is that the reason we also want to experience separation from Krishna? Or is that the reason we also want to experience separation from Lord Chaitanya? Actually, if you go in a subtle way, the thing is we want to understand their mood to serve them. Like for example, if Pankaj Prabhu comes to our house, and if I don't know what is liking, what is doesn't like, he doesn't like Karela, and I prepared a feast with Karela. Then what will happen? I cannot serve him properly. So because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or the Lord Himself feels separation from His devotees, if we are not understanding that mood of separation, what Lord is experiencing, if you don't know, then we cannot serve the Lord properly. You know? So it's not that we want to experience that, we want to understand that separation or experience that separation for what purpose? To serve the Lordship. Ultimately, what is our mood? We want to be Radha Dasam. What is Radha Dasam? We want to understand. You see, these are little high subject matters which will go beyond us. But ultimately, we want to be Radha Dasam. Means what? We want to experience the mood which Radharani experiences for Lord Krishna. For what purpose? So that we can serve Radharani through his devotees. That's what happens. What Lalita Vishaka does. In Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastime, what Swarup Damodar was doing, what Ramananda was doing, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is feeling restless out of the separation from Krishna and he is beating himself against the walls. What Swarup Damodar Ramananda Rai does? Swarup Damodar sings the bhajans from Chandidas and Gita Govinda and like that, Jaydev Goswami bhajans to console Lord Chaitanya. And what Ramananda Rai sings, he used to quote the verses from Vidagdha Madhava, Lalita Madhava from Bhagavatam to console the Lord. So this is what our understanding of Vipralamba. We want to experience so that we can serve the Lord properly. What is our constitutional position? To serve the Lord. Huh? Jivera Swarupai. What is meant by serving? In this context, serving means to understand their mood, to serve them properly. Understood, Prabhu? We don't want to feel that, oh, I also want to that way. Our mood is to serve the gopis and his devotee. That's why gopi bhartu padakamalaya dasa dasanu dasa. For what purpose? To serve them properly. So if you want to serve our leader properly, what you have to do? You have to understand his mood. If you want to serve Prabhupada properly, you have to understand his desire. What is the desire of Srila Prabhupada? He wants to deliver entire world. You know, that is his desire. We can only serve Prabhupada when we understand his mood properly. That's why we need to understand the mood of the great devotees. Then only we can assist them. If you are not understanding mood of Srila Prabhupada, what will happen? Hey, ISKCON is full of faults. All dirty people are there. Let me leave. That's what happens. You know? That's the reality also, right? We are all diseased people with all different degree of contamination. You know, understood? Thank you.
Prabhuji, I like this point. The real prasadam is mukha prasadam, which is coming out of the lips of the
Yes, that's what we should always anchor. We should never miss a class. Missing a class is a very risky thing. You know? Okay, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Vansha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyavcha pavitana bhavadebhyo vaishnavyo namo namah. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So we'd like to thank Prabhuji for taking out so much time and giving such a wonderful and enlightening class on how the process of devotional service is a wonderful science. And if we apply this science, we can see the results for ourselves. So we'll chant one time Hare Krishna Mangal for Prabhuji.